I went to college, obviously, many years ago, and the process is very different. So we were looking for a coach and guidance. You think about any big life decision, a lot of times you get a coach or an advisor. And so to help us walk through the process, that was another reason. Also, I think we were looking for a voice to give advice to Isabel that's not mom and dad, that's a little bit more of a neutral voice, someone to get to know her outside of her current ecosystem, if you know what I mean. Just that, and to give her advice and ideas and things, places to consider, and of course to keep all of us on track, to say, okay, by this time in the process, you should have this pretty clear about test or no test. And another key thing we wanted was the dream schools, stretch, targets, and safeties to really understand and navigate that. That was a big part. Finding someone to help tell her story, to, obviously not to exaggerate or lie, no, but to bring out interesting elements and to help her shine. When I was researching, I saw there was a lot of the advisors had been on the other side. They had actually worked at the different schools. They had been in the rooms where the decisions are made. I know a lot of the advisors had been on the other side of the table reading the applications and know, when this approach can help us, the admissions people, to understand the key parts of this person. How do you bring out this person's story again, so that you're not exaggerating or anything, but you can, like Isabel, our advisor, over the 10, 12 months that we worked together before we actually started, she was doing the applications and essays. She got a chance to really get to know Isabel. And I think some of the things that Isabel thinks is normal, my daughter, or we think is normal, Isabel from Quad was like, hey, this is something unique or special that you should, or when you said you enjoy doing this as a hobby, that's something you might want to talk about because that's memorable. So that was a reason why we picked Quad and loved Isabel. She far exceeded our expectations. I mean, I think the thing I really liked about her was, first of all, she was very experienced. She was very patient. She was a very good listener. I could really tell she was a very good listener to both Isabel and to me. Like, she picked up on concerns or questions or doubts. She was very encouraging also for my daughter. And another thing that we're very, very grateful on was the writing. The essay writing was really helpful because, again, first of all, she helped, keep on track, but she did much more than just grammar editing, because we can all hire a grammar tutor, or a writing tutor. What Isabel from Quad did is she helped bring out Isabel's story and advising, these are some things that you really, things I've noticed about you that I think you really want to highlight. I think telling the story, the writing, the essays, and again, beyond just grammar editing, because it was good to have coaching to say, okay, what are your classes? Are you enrolled in good classes? What are your clubs? What do you do? But again, not just what clubs are you in? What are you doing in those clubs? And how do we bring that to life? And then test or no test, optional, submit or not submit. I mean, those were good coaching, moments. But I think, where the rubber meets the road are the essays. I think that's the differentiating point, because a lot of kids, there's a lot of really smart kids that are doing a lot of great things. But how you tell that story, that was, for me, I think the most important. But in encouraging her, being supportive, because it's a high stress time and she doesn't need another person, pounding on her. I don't, you know what I mean? Isabel did it in a very positive, supportive way. Start early, start early, start early. Did I say start early? I would say start early and this is where Isabel really helped, have sort of your framework approach of topics to focus on each month. That, okay, by the time you start your junior year or sophomore, whatever, you know, this is where you should be. You know, like some of the key things were course selection, activity and club selection, school lists, dream, stretch, target, safety, testing strategy, to submit, to not submit, and then, you know, the opportunity cost of this. I mean, how many times can you take the test and how many prep classes can you take? And that takes a lot of time. Do you want to spend time on that, or do you want to spend time, and plus, do you want to spend time on something more fun? You know, so I would just say, because that's not fun. Let's be real. Taking SAT prep classes and taking the test over and over and over is not fun. I think doing activities and volunteer that's more fun. So I would say that would be the biggest tip that I, took away. And I tell my friends is, by December of your junior year, you should be here. Isabel really helped with the timing on thinking about summer programs for the summer before senior year. You can't think about that in May. You have to think about that in like October, November, December to start looking at programs. And so I think starting early, mapping it out, and then, of the time. And then the third thing that was really helpful that she helped us with is like, what is your organizational system of, okay, here's all the schools. Each school has supplemental essays. When are the due dates? And early action versus decision versus regular, the strategy with that, how long it takes, and starting to, and I feel like quad really, that comes full circle back to my first question of why we did this. It really helped. And when you think, depending on your financial situation, these schools can be $50,000, $75,000, $90,000 a year, depending on your level. So this at the end, this is a $500,000 investment. Maybe there's loans and all of that, but it's $400,000 or $500,000. And so to invest as a percentage of that, this is a small investment. You think about when you make big investments, you get advisors, you get coaches to make the right choice so that you have the right fit. It's success. So that's why we did this.